You can love your family and still protect your peace. It's not a bad thing. It's okay. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel through the lens of Des. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Desiree, or you can call me Des for short. Here on my channel, I talk a little bit about my faith journey, I talk about wellness, and I also vlog and kind of just share my life navigating life in general, but specifically navigating my 30s. And in today's video, it's going to be a little transparent one, and I feel like there's so many people in their 30s experiencing what I'm going to be talking about today and how I'm approaching this topic, and that is living at home in your 30s, or living at home maybe just in your 20s or whatever, just living at home as an adult, okay, in this economy. So I'm gonna be talking about how I'm living at home in my 30s, why I'm living at home, and how I'm approaching this season of my life, and how I'm staying disciplined and focused to hopefully get my own place eventually. So if this is a video for you, let's go ahead and get right into it. So let's first start with why I'm living at home at 30. So I live in California, and I specifically live in the Bay Area. I don't know, for any folks out there in California who watch my channel, maybe y'all can relate, or maybe you live in the East Coast or live in a state that is just as expensive as California, or any other state that's super expensive. You understand how living in California, specifically the Bay Area, is expensive. Like you understand where I'm coming from. And so when I say it's very expensive to live in California. There was a time where I didn't live at home, quote unquote, and that's when I lived in San Diego when I was attending UC San Diego for college. I was living with roommates, and I was living with a bunch of girls. So I really haven't had an opportunity or a chance to live by myself. And so ever since then, I thought, oh, I'll have enough money to live out, like to move out, and I'll have a good job and all this stuff. But I realized that, as I got older and got older and wiser in my 20s and everything, I realized that the rent in California is super, super expensive. I didn't think, like, especially in my mid 20s, that rent was really expensive. I didn't really think about it or look into it, but rent is so expensive. Rent could be $3,000 a month for a studio, for a 1 bedroom, right? And it's like, why? That's like, I'll be like half my paycheck or something like that. And maybe y'all can relate. I know a lot of like my friends and acquaintances and people I know who they do not live by themselves. They either live with family, they either live with a partner, or they live with friends. So like most people are in California, people I know are not living by themselves, like, because rent is so expensive. And if you are living by yourself, is because maybe you save up money, you have a good job, great. There is people who live by themselves. I'm not saying it's not possible, specifically in the Bay Area or anywhere else, but this state, California, is so expensive, and I feel like they just charge you for everything. And now with this economy, eggs is an arm and a leg, food is an arm and a leg. It's just so expensive. And so that is the main reason. Well, I would say one of the main reasons why I haven't been able to move out, because I'm still saving money, and I'm still trying to save money and navigate my job and my career. That's like a whole nother story, but I'm still trying to save up money so when I do move out, I am good. I can afford it. I don't have to move back. That's the goal. Not to move back, but to move out for good. I always have to remind myself this is temporary living at home. I'm not going to live at home for 5 or 6 plus years, Lord's willing. But I always have to remind myself that this is a temporary thing, and that I have to stay motivated and, be a go-getter, and able to reach my goals financially, and making sure that I'm financially stable to move out. Another reason why I'm living at home is that I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm not trying to post my apartment for aesthetic reasons on social media, say, hey, look at me. No, 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 no. Like, I'm not trying to prove something to anybody or anything, and I'm not trying to be just like show all, like, hey, look at me, look at my apartment, look at this, look at that. No, 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 no. Like, I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I have good intentions for why I want to move out, and just so I can grow, and it's that time because I'm in my 30s, but I'm not moving out just so I can just have an image of like a nice apartment and post it and all that stuff. So yeah, those are the reasons why I'm still living at home. Number one, rent. Okay, number two, this economy, and I'm still trying to save up money. And number three, I'm not trying to keep up an image. If it happens, it's going to be the time that God says it's going to be the time for me to move out. So if you are in your 20s, or specifically maybe in your 30s, living at home, and you are really having a hard time just staying disciplined and focused on the goals, on your financial goals, to get you up out of your parents' house or get up out of the house with the family members wherever you stay at, then I feel like the number one thing you should do is have a daily routine to keep you focused. Having a routine living at home is beneficial. It's crucial for your mental health, for your motivation, for you to just have a routine and not feel like you're just, whoa, it's me. Okay, so like you're an individual person, you have goals, you have aspirations, you have goals, you have aspirations, and when you allow the situation or your environment to get to you, or allow you to fall off your track on your goals, you're going to be less likely to feel motivated to go to work, feel motivated to pursue passions, and just like really pour into yourself as an individual. It's so important to have a daily routine. And so that is one thing that I've been incorporating in my life since I was like, since forever. I have always had a routine since ever since I was a little girl, because I've always been a productive and organized person. But I realized when I turned like 27 or 28, I really realized that I was like, I have to have a routine living at home. Like, no matter what's going on around me, I gotta make sure that I stay motivated and dedicated to my routine and pouring into myself, because if I don't pour into me, then I'm not going to be able to show up and save money and go to work and really just thrive as an individual person living up in this house. And one thing that keeps me grounded living at home is having a solid daily routine. And so that looks like waking up in the morning, depending on what that day is. If I have to work, well, then I'll get up really early, go to the gym, from the gym, get dressed, take a shower, get dressed, head to work, right? And then I'll come home. Okay, then I even have a little evening routine. Then if the days that I'm not working, I make sure that the day before I sit down at my desk, I write down my to-do list for my days off. So even though the days that I'm not working, I have a set to-do list. I have a routine, okay? If that's going on a walk, if that's going to my Hot Warrior scope class, like I have a routine in that no one in this house can mess up my routine, okay? So I'm following my routine. So I have my weekend routine, I have my Monday through Friday routine, I have my work days, my days off routine. So I have a solid routine to keep me on track, and that has been a game changer in helping with my mental health living at home. So I highly recommend that you guys focus on having a daily routine. If that's working out in the morning, if that's making you a healthy breakfast, if that's spending alone time with God or wherever your religion is, and or maybe having set hours or times where you're planning on your Google Calendar to keep you accountable. So yes, daily routine. All right, y'all, so let's talk about setting up boundaries when you're living at home, especially if you're in your late 20s, early 30s. Living with family can be a lot. There's a lot of expectations, there's a lot of personalities, there's a lot of maybe there's a lot of drama for you. There's a whole lot, depending on the type of family that you live with. Maybe there's a lot of toxicity, maybe there's a lot of drama, maybe there's a lot of fighting. Living with family can be a lot, especially if you live with multiple people. Like maybe you live with 5 other people in the house, maybe you live with 6 other people in the house. I'm blessed and thankful that I only live with my parents and sister, so our household is always really relaxing. Like it's not chaotic, there's no drama. For the most part, it's a very peaceful household, and I'm very grateful and blessed for that. But I know that some people are dealing with drama, toxicity, a lot of different things going on at home. I know living at home, you know, me and my sister, we have different personalities. Sometimes our personalities clash, different cleaning kind of styles, organization styles. So it's a whole lot living at home and dealing with different personalities and just overall family members. One thing I have learned living at home as a grown adult is that it's so important to set boundaries at home with family. And anytime I feel like I don't want to talk to anyone or I need time alone, I make sure that I communicate to my family. I communicate to my parents like, hey, I'm not feeling good, I'm irritable, I'm going to my room. Good night, y'all. And then everyone leaves me alone. My sister also communicates like, I had a rough day, I don't want to talk about it, you know. Okay, we respect her boundaries. We respect that she doesn't want to talk right now about anything. So setting boundaries and communicating when you are not feeling good, when you don't feel like talking, when you're irritable. And one thing I have done, and that has been really helpful, is that going to my room and creating like a little safe space. I turn on my essential oils, I put my headphones, and I just block out the whole household, and I just kind of just stay in my little, I like to say, corner of the house, which is my room. And so I set boundaries by maybe, you know, distancing myself for like, you know, maybe I'll just go in my room for 2 or 3 hours and say, hey, I don't feel like talking, but at least I communicated. You can love your family and still protect your peace. It's not a bad thing. It's okay. It's okay. Like if you have a loving and caring family, then they'll understand and not take it as a diss or take it any type of way. Even if you don't have a family that's understanding or communicative or don't understand why you're doing this and that for your peace, then they just can't understand. They're gonna be upset, and you just gonna have to allow them to be upset because you're protecting your peace and you're setting boundaries, and that's what we gotta do to live our life. Most importantly, your mental health. So I recently turned 30 in June, and when I turned 30 in June, I kind of had a moment where I was like, man, I'm 30 years old and I'm still living at home, and my funds, I'm still saving up to move out, right? And I remember, you know, I started kind of go a little into comparing myself to other people I know who have an apartment or own a house, own a condo, and I'm over here like, I feel very stagnant. And I had to kind of reflect and get out of that comparison state, first of all. And I was like, you know what, Des? And I had to pull myself out of that comparison, and I had to really reflect what is keeping me motivated to keep going. So instead of comparing myself, I was like, I gotta stay focused on myself, my goals, and how I'm gonna stay motivated to get to the goal of moving out, instead of focusing on what other people got going on in their house situation. If they own a house, live in an apartment, I can't think about them. I have to focus on me. And so one thing I also been doing is keeping myself motivated. I want my next move to be intentional. I want to move into a place that I love. I want to be debt free when I do move. And I want whatever the time is for me to move to be aligned with the woman that I'm becoming currently. So there's a lot of things that is keeping me motivated, that is helping me stay centered, that's helping me stay grounded into who I am as a person, and not losing sight or not getting discouraged or not comparing myself to other people. But I just tell myself, hey Des, you're becoming the woman that God has set out for you to become. And you know, stay locked in, have faith, keep going, and girl, keep working, because your time is coming. It might not be right now, but you just got to keep going. You have to identify what's going to keep you motivated while living at home to move out. Like what's going to keep you motivated when times get tough, when you get in arguments with family and family working your nerve. What's going to keep you motivated? If you're living at home in your 30s too, and you're feeling like you're in a season of pause or stagnation, I hope you find this video to be encouraging to you. I hope you see that you're not alone. I'm right there with you, okay? Like, child, I'm right there with you. I'm currently living at home. Of course, I would love to have my own place, but I know in due timing it will happen. And I want to make sure that I'm not moving out just because I want to move out. Yes, I have that desire and that want, but I want to make sure that I'm moving out and I'm making the right financial move, that I'm moving out debt free, I don't have no issues, and I'm able to afford it peacefully and on my own and not struggling, broke, and just struggling, moving out. So we don't want that. So I hope you find this video to be encouraging. In the comment section below this video, make sure you comment if you could relate to what I was saying in this video and how you are staying focused in where you're at right now, or whatever the home situation you're at. Maybe you're living with parents, maybe you're living with siblings, maybe you're living with roommates. How are you staying focused despite your living situation? And I want to see other people comments down below how they're staying focused and motivated with their living situation. And make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like this type of content. And yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye.